What's up everyone, Chris coming to you from Salty Island Games, and just like all of you out there, we are eagerly anticipating the arrival of 9th edition. Now just like all of you, we've been looking for different ways to pass the time. Some people have been painting miniatures, some people have been building terrain, some people have been speculating on the hobby. What we've decided to do is drop a bunch of money at Games Workshop and start playing Warcry. Let's check it out. Now for those of you not familiar, Warcry is Age of Sigmar fantasy skirmish type game by Games Workshop. Now a couple of reasons why we decided to go with Warcry. First big one is Age of Sigmar actually has some fantastic sculpts, a lot of really unique designs, and we've really just been looking for a reason to paint up some new miniatures. Second reason is the cost of buy-in is usually a bit cheaper than it is for a full army like 40k or even something like War Machine. So we hit up our local hobby shop and picked up a whole bunch of war bands for Warcry. So what I wanted to do is make a bunch of videos on our journey into Warcry, kind of show you how we got into the hobby, and then we'll be putting together a few battle reports for you on the channel. Alright, now the big question you're probably asking is, how much does it cost to get into Warcry? And honestly, it is actually really cheap. We've got 5 people that are currently going and buying into the game right now. But what I wanted to do is take a quick look and break down the cost for you so you can get an idea about if you and your friends are going to jump into it, what it would cost for you as a brand new hobbyist to get into the game. Alright, first things first. If you can find the Warcry starter set, obviously go ahead and pick it up. The cost is by far the best. You get the terrain, you get the board, you get the tokens, you get a pair of armies, and you won't really be able to compare the cost per value that you get out of that box. Unfortunately, we missed that train a long time ago, so we're going to have to go about it a little bit different way. So 2 things that you're going to need for Warcry. First is a bunch of armies. Second is some terrain. So for the terrain, what we did is we picked up the Shattered Storm Vault set. For $90, what you get is the board, you get some tokens, which I highly recommend getting. They're super useful. And then you get some pieces of terrain. The terrain that comes with the board is enough terrain to play the entire game. So it's a great all-in-one set. Also, just to let you know, the Shattered Storm Vault set is $90. Let's go ahead and pick a note here. $90 spent. Alright, next up we have 5 people playing, 5 different war bands. First up we have Clint. Clint picked up the Gloomspite Gets Warcry War Box. That's $50, comes with 13 minis, and it also comes with the cards that are going to be used. And the cards are essentially the codex or the army book. It's got all of your rules, it's got the special abilities, very easy to read, and unlike some other armies where you have to buy them separately, this is an all-in-one box. And also this is the most cost-effective way to get into Warcry. These boxes typically come with at least one of each model that your faction can field. It also comes with enough models to field at the minimum 1,000-point force, which seems to be the warband average size for their official play. Second up, we've got Rana. Rana is a brand new gamer to tabletop games, and this is her first skirmish type game. She went ahead and chose the Unmade warband. Now the Unmade is one of the Warcry unique warbands. You can use them in Age of Sigmar, but the warband itself was made for Warcry. One of the nice things about going this route is that the warband's rules really emphasize a lot of the flavorful and fun things that you can do within the game. Likewise with the Gloomspite, $50 for this box, comes with 9 models and the cards, also a fantastic value. Now for the third army, I went and chose Zinc Demons. Now the Zinc Demons don't have a Warcry specific starter, so what I did is I picked up the Zinc Demons Start Collecting box for $90. For those of you not aware, comes with 18 models, and if you don't actually build the chariot, and you could break the models up into about 23 models total. I also picked up a box of the Horrors of Zinc, which contains Blue Horrors and Brimstone Horrors. $90 for the Start Collecting, $38 for the additional Horrors of Zinc box, and since this was not a Warcry specific box, $10 for the Warcry cards. Now for the last 2 armies, we had Shy and Josh. They each chose respectively the Bone Reapers and the Ogre Maul tribes. Now if you remember a little bit ago, they came out with a 2-in-1 army box, Feast of Bones, that featured both of these forces. so they went ahead and chopped the box. Now I couldn't find the original price, but I do believe it was $180 retail for the Feast of Bone box. If you chop it with you and a buddy, that each of you pays $90, which is essentially the cost of a start collecting box. Now with the Bone Reaper side, that comes with 16 minis. However, not all of them can be used in Warcry, but with the Bone Reapers being a little bit on the costly side, you have more than enough miniatures to be able to field a warband. In addition, Shai also did pick up a box of Death Riders for another $60, and likewise he also needed the cards for the rules that came with an additional $10. On the other side of the rules for that box, 10 miniatures for the Ogre Maw tribes. There's a few more if you do count the Noblars, which you can put on their own base as it is a unit that's fieldable inside of Warcry. In addition, he did pick up a box of Iron Guts for $40, and he also needed $10 for the cards himself. Now at this point you're probably wondering, how much did you guys spend all together? So all in, for 5 players worth of armies, we put in about $628. That gives us all the terrain that we need, the tokens, the board, 5 armies, and on top of that, some of us got a few extra models where if we choose to go into Age of Sigmar, we'll have a great starting force already put together. Now most of you out there already know that you can easily pick up a discount either through your local game stores or online hobby stores. So if you apply what's probably your standard 20% discount, which is fairly easy to get, you're looking at about $502 all in. For those of you who are already in the hobby, you know that an average 40k army for 2,000 points will probably run you about $500 itself. So Warcry is actually a pretty cost-effective game from a Games Workshop standpoint, being that 5 players can get into this for the cost of what's essentially 1 player getting an army for 40k. So all in all, from a Games Workshop perspective, not too bad on the price. So I hope you enjoyed taking this quick look at the armies. On the next video we'll be showing the armies we put together for Warcry, and then we'll be taking a look at the paint, and finally, get some games in. So if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe and keep an eye on this channel as we'll be following along with our progress on Warcry. Hope you enjoyed it. See you all next week.